let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a book haul. This is like a Christmas book haul, but not what I got for Christmas. Well, kind of. I got money for Christmas and bought books with it, so that's what this is. In 2019, I'm going to include comic books in my book hauls because they are also books. They're also stories that I read, and I want to talk about the ones that I get with you because I get quite a lot a month, so I'm going to start including them. So there's a couple of comic books that I have in this haul. So the first one that I got was Georgia Peaches and Other Forbidden Fruit by J. Robin Brown, which is actually a book that I've had my eye on for a really long time, and the last couple of times I've been into foils I've kind of picked it up, had a look at it, thought about it, but a lot of the time when I've been in there the copies have just been really ruined. Like they've even been like the like spine has been damaged, or the pages have been all folded and horrible, and there was a hardback copy that the dust jacket was ripped off. So there was a slight little mark on the top of there, but this is the best copy I've ever seen in there since I started to look at this book while going in there. So I was finally able to get a copy, and I'm really looking forward to starting it. So this book is about Jo, who has been out for years. She's been very open, out and proud. She's not ashamed of it. She's very like outspoken about it. And then her and her dad and her dad's new wife moved to a new town in Georgia, and her dad asks her to kind of keep it on the down low so they can settle in nicely. She agrees, and then as far as anyone knows in her school she is straight and she doesn't talk about anything. Then we know how this is going. She meets Mary, who is the sister of one of her new friends that she's met at school, and she's really starting to have feelings for her, but she doesn't want to break her promise to her dad, and it's that story. I've heard really good things about this book. I have heard kind of like lots of people talk about it and say that it's really good, so I'm really looking forward to finally starting it and giving it a go, because it has been a while since I've been looking at this book and thinking like, shall I get it, shall I get a copy? So I'm so glad that I finally did, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. Then when I was in foils, because foils is wonderful and always has so many brilliant editions of books and different versions, I saw these editions of The Hunger Games, and have I ever seen anything so beautiful as these books? Probably not. These are the newer editions. I think they are an anniversary edition. I think they're 10 years, and they are so pretty. They are so pretty. They are exactly what Hunger Games books should look like, and I love that. We have the first one, which is The Hunger Games. So this has District 12, this is the home of Capital Coal, District 12. By order of President Snow for the service of our great Panem. And then the back looks like this, which says, may the odds be ever in your favour. Then we have Catching Fire, which is like all foil and lovely. It says Pride of Panem, Capital. Then we have this design, and obviously the roses, the rose petals, and then the back also says may the odds be ever in your favour. And then Mockingjay, which I think this is probably my favourite one. So we have it says entry is strictly forbidden, the region formerly known as District 13. This uninhabitable region shall serve as a reminder of the uprising that once tore apart our nation, on the front as well. And again it says may the odds ever be in your favour. This is wonderful. I recently rewatched The Hunger Games and just had this moment of overwhelming moment of how much I love this series, and I haven't read it in a very long. So this year I've decided I'm going to reread The Hunger Games because I'm really excited to delve back into the world. I'm loving, they're so good, and I think people have forgotten how good they are, but they are fantastic books and fantastic stories, and I'm so excited to delve back into that whole world and experience that story again, because I'm sure there's so many things I've forgotten about that I can't remember because I read it so long ago. For those that may not know, because there might be some people that haven't read them yet or were really young when they came out, The Hunger Games is a dystopian kind of, it's set in the future, and there's a place called Panem, and there was this huge uprising years and years ago. In Panem they live in districts, so district 1 to 12. District 1 is closest to the capital, and kind of the districts get poorer as they go down, and they have less things. They go down, and every year 2 people between the ages of 13 and 17 will be reaped from a bowl. Their name will be picked from a bowl, and they will be chosen to compete in the Hunger Games, which is a fight to the death, and basically you go into an arena and you fight until you are the last man standing. And the first book, The Hunger Games, focuses on Katniss Everdeen, who is from District 12, and her little sister gets picked to compete in the Hunger Games, so Katniss volunteers in her place to go into the games, and it is Katniss with her journey going into the Hunger Games and experiencing the games and everything that goes on there. It's so good. The Hunger Games is so good. I've actually met a lot of people recently that haven't read them, and I've been sort of talking about them a lot recently, but they're such a good story. They're so well written, so well done. It's just so good, and I absolutely love them. I'm so excited to read them again this year. So I also got A Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is one of the books I was really looking forward to last year, and I just never got around to picking it up or reading it, which was really bad. Lots of things happened and I just didn't get around to it. But in February I'm going to Cassandra Clare and Holly Black's event / book signing. Cassandra Clare is doing it for Queen of Air and Darkness, obviously, and Holly Black's is for the sequel to this. As I haven't read this one, I feel like I should, because I would like to take the I'd like to get the second one, and also if they talk about it, I want to know what she's talking about. So I finally picked up a copy and I'm going to read it this month. So this book is about Jude, who and her sisters see their parents murdered in front of them, and then they are abducted by the assassin that has done this. He takes them into the land of fairy, and she then realises in order to survive what she has to do and kind of how she has to act, and she has to be as cunning as they are. And I haven't read a good fae book in a while. Obviously the Shadowhunter ones, they go into fairy, but I haven't read one where that's kind of the main focus for a really long time, so I'm really looking forward to delving into this one and finally reading it. And of course, also most recently I got Queen of Air and Darkness. I've got a physical copy of this, but I just realised I didn't get it in my pile and it's in my other room, so this will do for now. So this is the third book in the Dark Artificer series, so the finale of that series. Wow, that was a whirlwind of things. I've got a review of it coming, but I honestly needed a lot of time to process that book because it was just too much. But it was amazing, as usual. The Shadowhunter books are incredible. I absolutely love them, and the Dark Artificers was no different. I'm sad that it's now over, but I'm excited for the Wicked Powers, which is a sequel series to that series, which will be coming out in a couple of years. So one of my reading goals for 2019 was to read more historical fiction, so to kick that off I have Rather Weird by Andrew Caldecott. And this book is set in 1558 and it focuses on 12 children. These children are gifted beyond their years, and some say that they're the golden generation, others are saying that they are the spawn of the devil, so they get banished by their queen. Then it's 4.5 centuries on, and Rather Weird is still independent from England and Elizabeth I. They still have really, really ancient laws. One law is that nobody is allowed to study the town or its history. Any history is very modern history. It's not where the town started and what happened with it. Then an outsider comes in who is a man that does know the history. He is very powerful, very rich, and he is able to buy the town kind of with its history and all, and it's kind of, are these things going to start to unravel? Is the history going to start to be explained? And are the people in Rather Weird going to start learn a lot more about where they came from and where their town started? I'm really looking forward to reading this. It sounds really cool. Multiple people have recommended it to me. Even like after I bought it, I said about having audiobook recommendations, and 2 people were like, you should get Rather Weird. So I think it's definitely something I will enjoy, because a lot of my friends are telling me like that I will, and people whose recommendations that I trust very much do think I would like this book, so I'm looking forward to it. Then as well, to go along with the more historical books that I'm reading, I have The Toymakers by Robert Dinsdale. This is a book that me and my cousin are actually going to buddy read this year. We started a mini book club for 2019, and this is one we're going to kick it off with. This is set at the time of the Great War, so World War I. In the middle of it, it's just completely consuming Europe and everything that's going on. But there is an emporium in the heart of London which is keeping the magic alive and keeping that happiness and spreading happiness by selling all the wonderful toys that it has. There's things for adults and children, but the things in the emporium seem a little bit too real. And it focuses on Kathy Ray, who is trying to hide from her past. She has lots of secrets, but as she comes into the emporium, she realises that the emporium might have its own secrets as well, and it's a story just uncovering and unfolding all of that. Again, this is another one which I've been told by lots of people that I will really enjoy, and I'm really excited to read it. I'm kind of getting like Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium vibes, but obviously it's probably not as like child friendly as that, because it is in like the sci-fi fantasy section. But I am really, really looking forward to reading this one, and I think it's going to be really, really good. Then we have another historical fiction novel, which is Fawkes by Nadine Brandes. So this is like a fantasy retelling of the time when Guy Fawkes was going to blow up Parliament. It's a bit of a history lesson. I mean, everyone knows this. I'm sure everyone knows this, but like obviously it's something bigger in England because we actually celebrate it as a day. I don't know why we celebrate it. It's a weird thing to celebrate. But basically, a very, very, very long time ago, there was a guy called Guy Fawkes. And Guy Fawkes did not agree with what was going on at the time. So he was going to blow up Parliament, and he had a gunpowder plot where he was going to sneak gunpowder into the like under Parliament and blow it up, essentially, so that he would kill everyone that was there. His plan was foiled. It did not end up happening. So every year on November 5th, we remember the 5th of November, in England we set off fireworks and create bonfires with toy Guy Fawkes on them that we set fire to. That sounds really weird when you say it out loud, but that's just something we've always done. It's just an English tradition. And this is a fantasy retelling, not of Guy Fawkes, but of Thomas Fawkes, who is his son, and he is turning to stone. And the only way to cure this stone plague is to join his father's gunpowder plot and get involved with the whole wanting to blow up Parliament situation. But if he does join his father's plot, he will end up killing the family of the girl that he loves. I'm really excited to delve into this era of England, and also to have this different retelling and different imagining from a person that's an entirely different perspective and just an entirely different view of what went down. And like, it's just going to be really interesting to see kind of how it's written. I am really looking forward to this one. I've heard loads of good things about it. Nadine Brandes has a book coming out this year called Romanoff, which is a fantasy retelling of Anastasia Romanoff, like the movie Anastasia. She was based on an actual girl who existed. I have that book on pre-order because I'm so excited, but I wanted to read other ones of her books as well and delve in to see how I enjoy her writing and what I think about her storytelling, so I'm so excited to delve into this one. Then I have Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. So there is lots of information about this book, about different parts of history and the human race and where we came from, what happened, all these different developments and things that happened, and then what can happen in the future possibly, and all these things. As someone whose degrees, I can say that now, I have two. I did psychology, but we did a lot of kind of like how things developed in the brain and developments of the brain and how we learn about things, and science and neuroscience, and I think it's really cool and I love it. This book, I've been wanting to read it for a very long time. This was, I think it was a book of the month when I worked in Waterstones, and I've heard lots of people say it's really good, so I'm looking forward to jumping into it finally. Then I have A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, which is a book which, again, I've wanted to read for so long, and so many people have told me that this book is so good. It's a big boy, but apparently it's absolutely fantastic, and I'm so excited to jump into it. It is about 4 college students who from Massachusetts who all moved to New York, and they are broke and struggling and trying to figure out what they're doing, and it is that story of all these 4 people and kind of unfolds from that. I'm really looking forward to finally reading this. I've been recommended this book for years by so many people, and this is going to be the year I get through it. I'm gonna do it. And then the book that I actually got for Christmas, the one that I was gifted and unwrapped, was this one, which is The Archive of Magic from the Crimes of Grindelwald movie. The main reason why I wanted this is because I do love these, and I had the Case of the Beast from the first Fantastic Beasts one. But what I really liked is the replica things that are in it. So Tina's postcard is in it. Where are we? Wanna Go to Paris? Creedon's like adoption paper is in it. Ministry of Magic identification card. And there we go, Paris postcard with the writing. And the thing I really liked about this is that it has some amazing replicas from the film in it, and I really love those things, and I love being able to use those things for any cosplays or any like pictures that I set up or anything that I do, and I just think it's really cool to have something where you have all of those in them. It's why I love the Case of the Beast ones, it's why I love the film Wizardry, it's why I love the artifact boxes that you can get, because I just think the stuff in them is really, really cool. So I was really happy to get this one for Christmas. Okay, so now we're on to the comic books that I got recently. So I got the 4th and final installment in the Stranger Things comic, which is the last one. So there was a 4-part series that they did, which was Will's experience in the Upside Down and everything that happened in the Upside Down. I literally got this yesterday, so I'm really looking forward to delving into the final one, and then I'm going to do a whole review of the comic series and what I thought about it. It's in a protected thing. Then I've got number 6 of the Captain America comics. So Marvel are kind of redoing like different ones and different stories. So there's a new Captain America one out. So I got number 6 because I think that's the most recent one. Number 7. Number 7 the most recent one? Maybe, but yeah, I got number 6 because it was the one I needed. And this is actually the Stanley cover in dedication for him. So it says Stanley 1922 to 2018. And then similarly, I got number 6 and number 7 in the Tony Stark Iron Man comics. I'm loving these. I'm actually loving these ones. I've read number 6, I haven't read number 7 yet, so I'm really looking forward to reading it. So yes, so that was some books and comic books that I got recently. Have you read any of these ones? Have you got any of these ones recently? What books did you get for Christmas time? What books have you bought recently? I'd love any recommendations down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, then I make videos a couple of times a week about books and fandom-y things like Harry Potter and Stranger Things and Marvel and Disney and all that jazz. So if you would like to stick around, then you can click the subscribe button down below. I hope you guys are doing really, really, really well, and I will see you next time. Bye!